AI is not the reason you're not making money. You are. Because you're playing with tools while other people are building systems and getting paid. Let me show you the difference.
The AI Profit Show with Coach Manny.
What's going on, my people? Coach Manny here, and this is the AI Profit Show, where we take attention and turn it into revenue. Not hype, not theory, real plays that you can actually use this week. So if you've been watching AI, thinking about AI, testing AI, but still not making money, yeah, this episode is for you. Let's go ahead and dive into AI news that actually matters. Let me tell you what's really going on right now. There's been a lot of updates in this industry. If you follow my Facebook, you know I'm sharing a lot of these updates. Everybody's excited about tools. New tool, new tool, new tool. That's not where the money is, my friends. The money is in the systems. Is that not the truth? Because here's the truth. You should have systems in play. You should have it in play where you have different content being created following systems. You're running a business, follow systems. You're having things in order, follow a system. People who are winning right now, they don't wake up and say, what should I prompt today? No, that's not what they're doing. They've built machines that produce content, that start conversations, that bring in clients. This is key. Be honest with me, my friends. Are you still typing random prompts? Or are you building something that actually makes you money? Because these are two different people, right? Two different people that you're actually serving. So I want to share something with you. The tool that I've started using a little more. You know, over the last 3 weeks, we talked about ChatGPT. And I said, over time, we're going to introduce different tools. Tools that at least that I'm either using or introducing myself to. And sometimes we're going to explore it live like we are today. And in today's tool breakdown, I want to dive into Claude projects. Here we are on Claude, all right? Claude.ai. Just like ChatGPT.ai, just like Gemini. Gemini, I use it more for images. I don't really quite use Claude for images, okay? But I do, and I am starting to use it for other different reasons. And so I'm about to show you something that should honestly make you uncomfortable. Because once you see this, you're going to realize how far behind most people are. In this case, we're going to dive into Claude projects, okay? If you notice on the side, you do not notice on the side. Let me move this over a little bit for you. Okay, now you see on the side, on the left-hand side, right? It says Claude, new chat. Now, a new chat is if you're going to put in a prompt. Then you would click on new chat, all right? And you see it says customize chats. We're going to be diving into Claude projects. So I'm going to click on Claude projects right now, all right? Now, with Claude projects, you're not prompting. This is not about prompting, my friends. This is training AI to think like you, okay? So if you're new to this, this is going to start thinking like you, right? And so again, I've shared that I'm fairly new to Claude, and I'm even newer to Claude projects. I've been using Claude for a little while in and out because I like to stay on top of things. And Claude is becoming a bigger and bigger noise maker, good or bad. There's some value behind ChatGPT. There's some value behind Claude. Now, personally, I still use ChatGPT more because it has learned a lot about me over the few years that I've been using the service. So it kind of knows my Mannergy. You know what I mean? It knows Manny. It knows Coach Manny. It knows if I'm asking it a question, sometimes it's like, that doesn't seem like it's up your lane. We think you should stick with this. I'm like, no, I'm doing this for a client. You know, I got to be clear. Or even if I'm asking something for my wife, I have to be clear. I'm asking for her. Otherwise, because it's going to get confused. It's like, hey, this is a new lane for you. Is this something you're thinking about? I asked it one question about selling stuff online, and it was like, you know what? You should stick to your lane. It gave me different reasons, but again, this is why these AIs, they're learning who you are, right? And so we both may use ChatGPT or Claude, but your response might be a little different to match you and what you do in your world. That's where Claude Projects really, really works, because you are training this AI to think like you. Same thing if you've been using ChatGPT. You feel like it knows you. And so in this particular case, you can do different things, which is great. You can load your voice so that it gets to know you more. You can load your style, your niche, and now you don't create content anymore. You direct a content team. Did you get that? Because I've got mine running Facebook pages. I've have it creating multiple posts a day, comment strategies, different things that it's helping me do, engagement traps, all of it. That's what Claude Projects can help you do. And I'm not sitting there typing every post. That's not what you want to do, right? You want to build leverage. That's what Claude Projects can do. All right, so when you dive into this, you create a new project and you name your project. Yes, you can do similar stuff in ChatGPT, which is great. But again, I told you I want to introduce you to different tools that are out there. Claude Project, let me tell you, if you are getting into vibe coding, this would be something that you'd want to take a deeper look into. If you're all about data analytics, this is something you want to dive deeper into. But here's the truth. Projects, just like it says, it helps you organize your work and leverage knowledge across multiple conversations that you've had over time with it. You can upload documents, you can upload code, files, and then what you're going to do is create a themed collection that Claude can reference again and again to match what you're trying to do. You get what I'm saying, my friends? Because at the end of the day, this is really the key difference maker to make this creating content that much more simpler for you, right? Isn't that what this is about? Here's what I'm telling you. You can use AI to multiply what kind of creation that you're doing. Not necessarily, make a bunch of manis, but make a bunch of ways that you can create the content around what I'm doing, what you're doing. And so I think that this is so relevant, because if you're a content creator or a small business owner or you're managing teams, hey, here's where this has changed it. It's made it that much faster to create this type of content around what you're doing. Think about that, okay? Because truth is, this is not going anywhere. AI is only going to explode even more. Remember, the internet at one time was not relevant. I remember getting on there and learning how to touch type, right? And truth is, now we talk type. Right? And so there's always advancement, but the question is to you is, how are you going to use it? Right? How are you going to use that? I need to work on stop saying right, because when I go to clip, I have right so much. I'm working on it. But now let's move on to the part about money. Let's get to the money. How can you use this stuff to make extra revenue in your business? Here's a play that you can use this week, all right? You've been sharing, one of the segments that we do every single week is, how can you use this stuff to make money? And I've been sharing with you how you can actually reach out to business owners and make this work for them while creating an extra revenue for you. And I'm speaking from experience. As you guys already know, I already have a marketing agency, right? And so I already have a way that's a way to get in front of people. So what I want to share with you is how you can put this into play this week. First, go find a local business. And don't say, I do social media. Don't say that. You know what? Truth is, nobody cares if you do social media. Say this instead. I help you turn your content into conversations and those conversations into customers. Then you'll have their attention. That's exactly what I share with people. I turn attention into revenue, right? A lot of people, they want to learn this stuff, but they want to know, if I'm going to learn it, how am I going to create revenue from it? How am I going to get the next step where people are actually going to pay me to help them? Don't just say, I do social media. First, you got to grab their attention. You can turn content into conversations. Conversations with prospects, future clients, and people who are raising their hand. That's what turns into revenue. Those conversations are what turn into customers, right? And so now you've got their attention, okay? And then when you got their attention, now you use comment triggers. What is comment triggers going to do? When you say comment below or send me a direct message, you're telling them what to do next. That's called call to action, all right? Don't create content without having that next step. I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but most of the time. Because truth is, what do you want them to do next? That's a $500 a month minimum service that you can tell them, hey, I can turn your content into revenue. All right? Think about that. Think about that for a second. And here's the truth. Most people won't do it, which is why it works. Because those who do it are going to be a little more serious. But let's be honest. A lot of times people raise their hand and they're not as serious as they may think. I've literally had people, I'll have one-to-ones with people. Hey, I need your services. Great. Let's schedule a one-to-one. They will literally tell me, yes, I'm going to pay for your services. I'm going to sign up with you. I want you to help me. And guess what? They go silent. I'll follow up. They'll go silent. Well, why did you verbally commit? Who knows? People are people, right? Have you ever committed to something and didn't follow through? I've been guilty. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure. Or I was trying to make it to someone's party. I said I'm going to go last minute. I could not end up making it. I was going to get there so late I didn't even show up. It happens. But when you think about this, are you showing up? And are you consistent about showing up? Because at the end of the day, if you're wanting to turn this into revenue, if you're wanting to turn that attention into revenue, you have to be consistent with your show up. And show up, that's an acronym. I'll share with you at another time. There's something big going on and happening. And of course, over time, I'll share that with you, but I'm not going to spill the beans yet. We're pretty excited about that though. But when you think about how you can turn this AI into revenue, my friends, show up for other businesses that you know could use your help. And then the proof is in the pudding. Show them different ways that you can actually help them do this. All right? So here's what I want to share with you. In this next segment, I want to share with you how to turn content into conversations. This is my secret sauce, my friends. Because this is the game. Let me give you the real game here. And this is something that I'm starting to do with a lot of my clients. Like, this is actually an add-on service that our agency does, that shares, right? This is something that we'll do for you. But because here's the truth. If you are busy trying to go viral, start by first, forget the viralness. Forget that, right? Viral doesn't always bring in the business. Let's be real. A lot of people focus on TikTok because it's easier to get views on TikTok. But how many people, outside of creators where TikTok's actually paying them, how many people are actually getting people to pay for their services because of TikTok? I see it all the time on YouTube. I see it all the time on Facebook. But TikTok, I don't see it all the time. I see the creators that are winning are the ones that are getting a lot of views. And And TikTok themselves are paying them. But not everyone's doing that. But here's where everyone can win. When you create content that starts conversations. Do you hear that? Conversations with people who are saying, hey, I felt like you were speaking to me. I need that type of help. Because here's the play. All right? Here's the play. Create short posts. Create a curiosity hook. All right? You don't need a long drawn out book. Create curiosity hooks. That has to be the very first thing. When I started this video, did I say who I was? I did not. I started with a hook. Because my goal is, number one, you got to grab them in 3 seconds. 3 seconds, or they're out and they're not coming back. They're not coming back. Even if you pop up on their timeline again, you did not grab them in their first 3 seconds. Understand something. That's the first important part. If you want them to continue, grab their attention right out of the gate. And understand something. The value is in the comments. Okay? Get them to comment. If you don't get them to comment, get them to reach out in your direct messages. That way you get them to the next level. Why? Why is this important? Well, because now people stay. They read, they engage, and then that's where it's key. When you grab their attention and you get them to, you pique their curiosity, they're seeing what it is, they're staying on your page, right? Because you hook them in. They're reading what you're putting out there. They're engaging, and then what? You say something along these lines. Comment AI, and I'll send it to you. Comment whatever it is. Comment something simple. Not comment, I'm all in, above and beyond. No, don't make it super simple. One word preferably. One word. It could be comment. It could be comment help. One of my clients is a pharmacist. Comment farm. Right? Another one of my clients is a real estate agent. Comment real estate. Right? I don't, in their case, they could say agent. But in my case, I'm probably going to be talking about AI agents. So if I say agent, I might be talking about AI agent. You see? But here's the truth. Now you're not guessing who's interested. You're not guessing anymore. Those who comment, those who send you a direct message, they're telling you they're interested. Gets no more simpler than that, my friends. Is that not true? It gets no more simpler than that. And so, listen up. If you want the exact system that I'm using, comment AI right now, and I'll send it to you. Not some watered down hype version, the real workflow. And when I say real workflow, it's the workflow that I use. So if you're following this and you have commented or you have sent me a direct message, then you know what I'm referring to on that same process. Now, if you did comment and I haven't gotten back to you, my apologies. I didn't forget about you, and I hope I didn't miss it. If you didn't get a reply, there's a good chance I missed it, or sometimes I do get sidetracked. I'm like, oh, I'll send that later. Later doesn't come, or it does come and I didn't come with it. So please forgive me on that. But at the end of the day, this stuff works, right? If you commented, you know it works, right? If you sent me a direct message, you know it works. Now, how many times did I use the word right? I'll work on that, my friends. But I get so caught up in it. And sometimes those things you don't even realize, those filler words are there all the time. And my friends, understand something. AI is not the opportunity. I know a lot of people are getting caught up on this. I hear people in the coffee shops having conversation about it. I hear people in my networking meetings talking about. I remember when in the 09, 08, 2010, when Facebook was becoming so relevant, and I would go to Starbucks and I see people on Facebook. It kind of, when you start seeing that, if that's not you, you start feeling like you're missing out. Well, here's the truth, my friends. Yes, everyone's talking about AI. I get it. I get it. But AI, that's not the opportunity. Attention is the opportunity. Getting people to watch your content, your videos, your posts, that is the opportunity. And if you can turn attention into conversations, what do you suppose you think that means? Right? That's turning it into revenue. My friends, this is Coach Manny, and this is the AI Profit Show, episode 4. If you got some value from this, let me know in the comments that you did get some value. And I hope to start your Monday morning off, I brought some enough of that man energy to help you get your day rolling. And I hope that you're energized and ready to kill your week. And by the way, I'm about to be a grandpa for the 3rd time. So I'm just waiting for that text where I have to jet out of here and head back to Indiana. If you saw me last week on episode 3, I was with my grandkids. It was a great moment. They were on the show with me. And so, my friends, thank you for being a part of this show. And thank you for the feedback that I do receive. My friends, I'm Coach Manny, and this is the AI Profit Show. Peace! Until next time, my friends, just reach out if you have any questions. If you're not too sure how to use social media and AI for your business, just call your Puerto Rican friend. I'm here to help. Peace. Till next time.